Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today, we will be continuing the Saw franchise with another review, and that review is on the sequel to the original Saw, that of course being Saw 2. Now this came in a 10 film collection pack with all 10 films. Here is Saw 2 on the back here. And I watched the unrated version. I believe all the Blu-rays, they came with the unrated, like the original 7 came with the unrated cuts. And I gotta tell you, this sure was an interesting movie to watch. Anyways, Saw 2 from 2005. What is it about? So, Saw 2 picks up after where the first film left off. We open up with a trap called it's like a Venus flytrap. Wake up with this guy. He's got it around his neck and he's having to dig into his eye to grab a key to unlock it. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it in time, and the Venus flytrap clamps shut on his head and kills him. Then we get introduced to our main character for the film, along with a few others. We get introduced to Eric Matthews, Detective Eric Matthews, who is played by Donnie Wahlberg, one of the Wahlberg brothers. You may also know Mark Wahlberg. He's our main character here, Eric Matthews. He also has a son named Daniel Matthews. And Daniel Matthews is like this late teenager, mid-teenager son of his. He's been getting into trouble, doesn't really have a close relationship with his father. Eric gets pissed at him and gets into a whole argument with him after he gets him out of the police station. And he says some really hurtful things to his son that he regrets a couple days. I think it's a couple days or a couple weeks after. However, while this is going on, Jigsaw, John Kramer, is actually setting up his next trap, called I think it's a gas chamber house or something like that. It's got like, it's just a house that he has like set up somewhere for a game. He's got like, I think 8 people in there, or 6 to 8 people in there, I believe, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's about like 6 or 7 people in that house. And Amanda from the first movie is actually placed in here along with Eric Matthews' son, Daniel. Unbeknownst to Eric, they were actually leading a raid. They find John Kramer. John Kramer reveals to them that he's got a whole nother trap set up, or a game, with Daniel Matthews in there. Eric, of course, gets pissed, demands to know where his son is so he can get him out. But of course, John Kramer says he wants to play a game with Eric Matthews. And once the game is begun, he sits down, has a talk with John Kramer, all while the gas chamber house is going on. And we get introduced to some main characters like Xavier, Gus, a couple other girls, along with Amanda and Daniel. Amanda's placed in here. She survived the last trap with the reverse bear trap on her head. She survived that, but she got placed in here in the game unbeknownst to her. John Kramer placed her back in there. And let's just say the game begins and they have to find a way out of there, and some alliances and some enemies are made. Saw 2 was a movie that I found kind of interesting. It definitely felt bigger than the first film. It, throws you into the action in like the first 10, 15 minutes, unlike the first film. First film was like more suspenseful and dramatic than this one is. This one has a little bit more gore than the first film, I will say that. A little bit more gore. I like Donnie Wahlberg as his role as Eric Matthews. I think this is one of the best performances I've seen from Donnie Wahlberg, aside from Blue Bloods. You might know him from Blue Bloods as well if you guys watch that show. I think he did a fantastic performance here. We get the same lady that played Amanda in the first film back to play her again. The gas chamber house itself as a game, I did enjoy that aspect from it. Definitely an interesting way to have a game, played out. Some of the traps in here were very painful to watch. There's like a furnace trap and then a needle pit. That might be the most memorable one from this whole film, the needle pit. And they definitely ramped up the gore from the first one. We get introduced to Daniel Rigg, who I think plays a bigger part in the next movie and 4, along with Detective Carey. She's one of the detectives that follow John Kramer, try to track him down. Daniel Matthews as Eric Matthews' son. I thought he was definitely good character arc between him and his father. Like, while they had a very strained relationship, you can definitely tell the love for Eric Matthews and how he deeply regrets what he said to his son, trying to get him back. We of course get Tobin Bell. Sorry guys, it's late. We get Tobin Bell to reprise his role as John Kramer. I believe he reprises his role again in all the films. Correct me if I'm wrong. The kills, like I said, were very painful. The needle pit, while that's not a kill, it really is painful to see Amanda go through that. And of course, you have the dickhead Xavier, who is just an asshole from the very beginning. All these guys are like ex-convicts, and you come to find out how they're tied to all these, to a certain character that's not even in the game. And I'm not going to tell you who it is. You find out how they're tied to this certain person, because I don't want to spoil it. But it's definitely a good twist to figure out, and why it's dangerous for Daniel Matthews to be there. The ending to this movie definitely had a shocking twist that, of course, I knew already because I had seen the first couple films a while ago, which, I remember that twist. But for first-time watchers and you don't know that twist ending, I think it was just as good as the first one. Maybe it was done a little bit better. The climax was 100 times better than the original film. And that's not to say the original film was bad. I don't think the first film was bad. It was just like boring at some parts. This film, it had a lot going for it. A lot more cinematics, a lot more kills, more on-screen stuff. You get to see John Kramer a lot more in here. You don't have that mystery from the first film. You automatically know who Jigsaw is. Overall, this film was just definitely a huge step up from the first Saw film. And, just on top with all the fantastic actors and the, fantastic performances by Tobin Bell and whoever played Amanda. I totally forgot her name. I'm so sorry. And then Donnie Wahlberg. I just thought that was an absolute great sequel to an already pretty good film. Definitely would watch this over the original. That might be a hot take. I don't know. But I definitely did enjoy this a little bit better than the first film. And who knows? Saw 3 might be worse. So, I believe that's all I have to say about Saw 2. This is probably going to be a slower series to get through, just so I can get through the month of July. And I apologize for the long wait. I've just been very busy with everything. I'll try to get Saw 3 review out as soon as I can, maybe a day or two after this comes out. And I really appreciate y'all's continued support with this franchise and everything. So, yeah, that has been my review on Saw 2 from 2005. Very good sequel. If we were talking sequel rankings, this is probably up there. Ramps up the gore. I feel like better characters. While I still think Dr. Gordon and Adam are pretty good characters. I enjoyed Donnie Wahlberg's performance in here as Eric Matthews and Daniel Matthews. Of course, Tobin Bell as Jigsaw. I get to see him a lot more than you did in the first film. Overall, this is just a fantastic sequel. If I had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it about an 8.5. Yeah, so that's been my review on Saw 2. What is everyone's thoughts on the film? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Really love to hear your thoughts on it. And once again, thank y'all for continuing to support me on this channel. I'll try to get the Saw 3 review out as soon as I can. And I will see you guys then. So God bless you all and have a great night. Bye, everyone.